The author is sorry for mispronouncing fiery and fieriness throughout this video. Please understand fury as fiery and fieriness as fieriness. We are coming to a key question. How long do you find yourself in the fury condition? 3 times a day in contemplation? Or only once a week because you do not keep the meditation times? Several times a day, even when you are in the world? Lengthening these periods of time is the vital inner work that falls on you. At the end of each day, you must give an account to yourself of how often and how long you succeeded to maintain yourself on the height. There are no prohibitions. Agni Yoga forbids prohibitions. Remember, we have no forbiddances. Prohibitions are not needed. Even the harmful should not be prohibited. It is better instead to turn the attention simply to the more useful and the more attractive. Also, you do not need any prohibitions at all. You notice for yourself when your vibration goes down. You feel bad when you give in to your lower self and take in soul poison or allow it to infiltrate you. You feel good when you express the divine aspect of your nature. The eternal individuality, the king, the priest within you, despises everything that lowers its vibration, weakens its soul, and tarnishes the radiance of its being of light. It wants to grow greater. It disdains everything that makes it smaller. The barely loved spiritual discipline is not a blind following of meaningless rules. It is a tool, a goal-fitting behavior with the aim of keeping your soul in its wonderful ideal state of purity, power, joy, light, and love. Prepare yourself for typical situations which, according to your own experience, put you out of tune. Recognize the habits that reduce your vibration and get rid of them. In spite of best will and great efforts, I hardly manage to maintain myself in the state of fieriness. Yes, every beginning is difficult. We are all still small souls and only slowly getting greater. If your vibration drops, you made a mistake. Responsible for this are not adverse circumstances or nasty people, but solely your own weakness. You have allowed your lower self, the animal aspect of your being, to reveal itself. This is not bad if you counter-steer immediately and get up again, straight away. If you learn from the mistake and make an effort not to repeat it, it will make you progress. It is not events that matter, but the experience which you can gain through them. Spiritual discipline must complement meditation until the proper behavior passes into flesh and blood. We want to permanently transform into men of spirit. The elevation to the fiery condition is, for the time being, only temporary. Of course, one cannot force oneself to direct one's thought upward. This direction of thought becomes natural, but only after long experience. This is ultimately a matter of habit. If a baby can learn to walk, you too can learn to keep your fiery body alive all day. The mysterious waves of music belong to the higher world. When they saturate us, they put our physical, but above all our fiery being, into a state of higher vibration. Here is how we can make use of this phenomenon. Did you already observe how often you hum a melody to yourself? Mostly unconsciously, almost silently, purely within you. For example, at work, when going for a walk, in the office, on the way from one room to the other. An effective tool to keep your being well tuned is to hum at every opportunity a spiritual mantra with a simple text and a simple melody, such as, for example, a hymn like Gott ist gegenwärtig, God is present, by Gerhard Terstegen, the Hare Krishna Mantram, or the holy word Om. The motet Locus Iste by Anton Bruckner, which creates a sanctuary within you, as we saw in the broadcasting The Path of the Inner Temple, or the Triple Concerto by Beethoven, which had just now accompanied the unfolding of your body of light. This exercise brings the vibrations of your being into harmony. You may hum almost without tones and only give your inhalation and exhalation a certain color, a particular tint. I have got used to humming Tabinizi as often as possible. Meanwhile, I am thinking of my true existence, of my life in my eternal home, in my ashram in the spiritual world. This mantra goes like this. Such a humming occupies the mind, which is tirelessly at work, distracts it from worldly matters, and relaxes it. The decisive step with the fiery condition, as with many other exercises, is transfer your consciousness into the invisible part of your being, into your supra-temporal individuality. As a being of spirit, which lives in the spiritual world, the soul is not affected by anything that happens on the material plane. From this higher level, you look down onto all those tiny little human beings and the earthly chaos. From above, from the standpoint of eternity, you observe the drama that is taking place beneath you in the lowlands of the material world, and how your tool, the body, is faring. If it is hurt or attacked, cheated or lied to, tortured or betrayed, nevertheless your soul on the heights remains unshakable. For each one on the path, there is but one immutable might, hierarchy. Upon this sacred principle one may construct. From this sacred summit one may contemplate the world. Upon this stronghold the spirit becomes winged. Upon this summit can be built a mighty evolution. You are an alien, a heavenly being, which has briefly descended in order to fulfill a mission on earth. Apart from that, you have nothing to do with the barbaric conditions down here, and you will return to your heavenly home as soon as possible. Above all else, you have to pay attention to maintain your dignity as messenger of the gods, that is, to preserve your high vibration. You must not sink down to the level of the primitive culture you were sent to raise. Isn't it grossly exaggerated how here a small, insignificant person is being raised to an angel? Well, think twice. Your immortal soul has already dwelt in highly developed civilizations such as Atlantis, Egypt, or Greece. If you are a spiritual person, it is obvious, almost imperative, that you have already lived in previous incarnations in a spiritual culture, under a spiritual teacher or guide, and that you were a member of a spiritual community to which you continue to belong in the subtle world. Where else should you have developed your spirituality? Perhaps you were once a member or disciple with the Essenes, the Sufis, or the early church around Jesus, or in a temple of initiates or mystics, or in the schools of Pythagoras, Plato, or Buddha. Therefore, it is a spiritual reality that you come from a higher world, a higher culture, and have descended to a lower level. After death, in heaven, in your teacher's ashram, you will smile at what is oppressing you today. Then you realize how vain and small it all is. The same is true if you placed yourself in heaven already now. When anger, sadness, irritation, or despondency arise, you must immediately switch to the observation mode and place yourself next to or above you. But what if I just feel concerned? How do I get out of this hole again? Take a moment and listen to the voice of your heart. It explains you the situation on the spiritual level, in your true existence. Your soul has no reason for these moods, because nothing that happens on the material plan can affect it or obstruct its path. Your eternal individuality thinks differently than your perishable personality. It knows the meaning of suffering. It gratefully welcomes the apparent obstacles and adversities of the earthly sphere as steps of ascent. Your soul goes enthusiastically into the battle with chaos, in which it serves the progress of evolution and can prove and strengthen its powers. Your heart leads you back to your ideal state of joy and fieriness. Indeed, one should look upon earthly things through the fire of the heart. Only such inspection can foil the snares of Maya. You should defy adverse circumstances and right then and there ramp up your being of light again, so that it shines great, strong and beautiful in the middle of the darkness.